Peace and Black Power family, your Harlem educator, author, and activist, the Black Liberation Coach, Brother IJ Taimba. I'm filming live on location in that wonderful historical and political village of Harlem, New York, family. We started a little late. I'd like to apologize. I had a few technical difficulties. I wanted to begin by saying to those of you who recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate it, happy Juneteenth. For those brothers who recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate it, happy Father's Day weekend. Family, I try not to get too caught up in these things. To me, anytime Africans, new Africans, Black people get a chance to connect, to live, love, and laugh, and learn and lead, it's a beautiful thing. Even if sometimes it's under the auspices of the white man's so-called holidays. We can always Africanize his things. We can actually reject his things and do our own things. So, that's how I look at it. Today, we are privileged to be joined by a brother who is doing some real grassroots, boots on the ground, all hands on deck, organizing through his Clear the Airwaves project. Is taking on a real national momentum. We are all proud of our brother, and we have him on. I believe we had this brother on. This is now our third time. That's just how relevant he is and the work he's doing is. And that is our good brother, Brother Kwabena Rasuli. Good brother, how you be, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. How about you?
Hey, man, I'm good. For those of you who don't know, we actually did like a whole 10 minutes, and then I realized I didn't press the go live button.
Been there, done that.
Oh, man, it's crazy. So here we are, we're live. Family, thank you for joining us. We were Brother Kwabena Rasuli. Brother Kwabena, first of all, since it's Juneteenth, and we know there's controversy around this day, what are your thoughts about Juneteenth?
I love it, man. I'm with a book club right now called Building and Bonding Over Books, and we're reading the Black Jacket books. And if you read that book, the first part of it talks about the brutality of slavery and just the heinous stuff they were doing to us. And Malcolm says they were working us from can't see in the morning till can't see at night. And for us to finally come out of that, and it took a year and a half for our brothers and sisters in Galveston to finally realize that we told them, hey, y'all been free for a year and a half. And they started celebrating and partying. Man, we've been doing it in Gary for years, for decades, along with our sister, Mama Figures, who's our ancestor. So I love it, man. And yeah, there's more work to be done, of course.
Okay, understood. Also, we have Father's Day coming up. There's controversy around that because, you're a nationalist, you're a cultural nationalist. You understand that some of our people have a problem with the white man's holidays, as we should. So some people say, oh, man, I'm not celebrating that. It's the white man's. Well, how do you see that?
Just like Mother's Day, every day should be Mother's Day. Every day should be Father's Day. We got still too many fathers and daddies locked up in these prisons. So again, it's like, I'm like brother out in Boston just talked about. He called them hollow days. Think of the hollow, but every day we should be looking out for our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, and showing love for our people. So that's how I feel about it.
Definitely. Now, could you tell our public, good brother, you're part of the Clear the Airwaves project. Some people have never heard of it. I know that I did a show with Brother Ramasu, Mario Moon, who wrote the book Facts, which is a powerful book I need to check out. Very basic, all of the foundational information you need as a nationalist to be on point. He has in this one book. You should check it out. And he told me, Brother IJ, I joined the movement. And I was really happy to hear that, man. We should be connecting. Could you tell us about the Clear the Airwaves project and the important work you're doing in that?
Yeah, I'm also reading a book right now, Fact, from my good brother, so people should check it out. Like I said, it's clear and concise, and he puts things together. He makes it plain. The Clear the Airwaves project is basically, our goal is to get that violent, folk, and vile music off the radio stations that specifically target African children throughout these United States of America. And it's in radio stations like in every major city in the U.S., you're going to find at least one, most times two radio stations where 90% of the music they play drop N-bombs on us, refer to our daughters, our mamas, our sisters, as B's and H's, and then encourage us to shoot and kill each other and push straight up porn on our people. And it has to be stopped because we're seeing the results of it every day in the news. What's that doing to our psyche?
So now, as part of the Clear the Airwaves project, your activism, could you explain to people how you go beyond just we shouldn't listen to this and this is the damaging effects? You actually have an activist component to it, which I know I appreciate. Could you explain to the audience what it is y'all do on the ground?
Like, for instance, this week, we've been the first black-owned McDonald's is here in Chicago. And so we spent well over a year demonstrating there to get them to pull their commercials from these radio stations. Because, the radio stations make their money via commercial advertising. And so we were out there demonstrating. And this week, we're asking the people to stay out of McDonald's this Juneteenth weekend because, again, they sponsor this crap. And we asked them and other advertisers, would you buy commercials on a radio station that played music about shooting and killing dogs? And they say no. Well, why do you do that? Why do you buy commercials on radio stations that play music about shooting and killing black people? And then we also say, you take that N-bomb out. I don't say that word. Take N-I-G-G-A or N-I-G-G-E-R out of these songs, and you put it in K-I-K-E, or you put it in G-A-Y, or you put it in, again, dog. These songs not only would not be made, they would not get no play on the radio. They would not be nominated for Grammy Awards and presented NAACP Image Awards. And so our activism, when we call out advertisers, we demonstrate against those advertisers. We call out organizations and movements like the Grammys and like the NAACP, and we actually hit the radio stations for playing this poison. So that's some of the activism, and also the Federal Communications Commission. The Federal Communications Commission has decency standards, and they put those in place because children might be listening. They say no indecent, no profane, and no obscene content can be played on these radio stations during certain hours. And they say no obscene content can be played at any time. And these radio stations are constantly playing obscene content. On a Sunday morning, I heard this on the radio. She do whatever I say. I'll piss in the cup and call it lemonade. This is on the radio on Sunday morning. On Sunday morning in Chicago.
Now, let me ask you, Brother Kwabena, because I know that our beloved ancestor, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who gave us the ISIS papers, among other things, she said, and I paraphrase, how can you fight for your freedom if you see yourself and refer to yourself as a dog, bitch, hoe, or igga? Do you feel that is right and exact what she's saying, or do you think like some of the young people who participate in some of that messaging and that music, they say, listen, man, you older people, you're taking it too seriously. Lighten up. These are just messages, man. Like, people could turn it on, turn it off. You can't blame us for what's going on. How do you see that? I tend to agree with Frances Cress Welsing. How do you see that?
Now, I agree with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, also another Chicago native, by the way. But she, on point. If you constantly think of yourself as ends and respect your women, you don't care about it. That's indoctrinated into us. So we don't get with black women. We don't care about our brothers and sisters. We don't support them. We don't support their businesses. And we're off them at the drop of a dime. The music is also telling you that if you don't trust them, shoot somebody. So we'll take their life. And we see it happening every day, all day. This is what they're programming into the minds of the masses of our children and youth, mainly via these radio stations. I listened to my sister, I was checking out one of her lectures not too long after she made transition. And this was, I couldn't even find the lecture right now, but it was at the 24-minute mark of this lecture where she said, rap music has annihilated the self-respect of black people. Has annihilated. That's what Frances Cress Welsing said. And I use that quote all the time. And I do a conscious hip-hop show. So, I play conscious hip-hop, of which there's so much of.
Okay, now, brother, what I'd like you to do is give us a definition. Like, what is culturecide? What do we mean by culturecide? And what are some of the things that we as a people, whether we're individual community members, parents, students, activists, can do to resist it?
I would kind of like call it maybe like a derivative of what Bobby Wright called menticide. But it's the distortion of our culture. It's like what's happening in Chicago when I complain about how in Chicago, which is maybe the second or third largest concentration of African people anywhere in the United States, that both radio stations that target African children and African youth with music are owned by Europeans. They control our culture. They control the culture to our children and our youth. That's a part of Culturecide. And if your culture is now telling you, like they say, hip hop culture, if hip hop culture, how it's presented and pushed to the masses of the people, is telling you to kill each other, it's telling you to commit fratricide on each other, that's what, there it is right there. That's Culturecide. And that's exactly what's happening. And so when we have 3 mass shootings in Chicago within a matter of 5 days, within this past week, 3 mass shootings, and you turn on the radio, the European-owned radio stations out here, and they're saying, I ain't got nowhere to go because I done shot up everywhere they was, that's Culturecide. Because music is culture, a major part of our culture.
Yeah, I hear somebody here has written that we should use the language of our culture and disregard the language of the Europeans. I would definitely agree with that. I do want to ask, because I think Malcolm laid it down so simple, not simplistic, but simple and plain. Wake up, clean up, stand up. So waking up is developing our consciousness, so to speak. Cleaning up is dealing with some of our inner issues, internal issues as a people, as individuals. And standing up is resistance and, building the internal structures and things we need to survive and maintain ourselves. What I like about what you're doing, brother Kwabena, is that you're highlighting the need for internal and external fight. The external fight, you banging on the radio stations, you banging on the corporate sponsors. But the truth of the matter is also that if none of our young people participated in the language, right, and you had songs with the language, that would not exist. They said if people said we're not making that music anymore, man, with that negative messaging, we wouldn't have that issue. Is that right or wrong? So I like that you hold all of these people accountable, man. I like that.
Yeah, you're so right. And there's a song by Dead Prayers that I just thought about as we talk about this, because he started off with Malcolm. When Malcolm was in Harlem doing that speech out in front of everybody. I think even Minister Farrakhan was behind him, and he's on the block. And they start off with some of those excerpts of how we need to get off with a lot of these drugs and alcohol and doing better by ourselves. But the song is called Believe. So check out it's a powerful video from Dead Prayers, Stickman from Dead Prayers. It's called Believe, and it breaks down everything. And so that's how hip hop can be used to fight the Culturecide. And there's still so many artists like Dead Prayers. Still, they need to come up with something new, a new album or something. But so many artists still making good music. The homeboy Chuck D still making good music. Speech, Arrested Development still making good music. And D1, brother out of Chicago, Add 2. He's got to stop dropping so many doggone N-bombs. So rock. And so many R&B artists still making beautiful, conscious music, and that's so important, brother. And they can give us the lessons in the music, which is what we were getting during the golden age of hip hop. I was in college DJing, and I'm gonna tell you, bro, most of the songs we were playing, we were taking knowledge while we were partying to them. And you remember that time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do. I can never forget that time. Plus, I was a young MC in Harlem, man. And yeah, I remember very well the type of language. The most that we did back then, Brother Kwabena, I'm going to say, I'm talking about 80, 81 is when I was into that, in the early 80s. Our lyrics at the worst were braggadocious. We talked about the girls we had and we could fight well and stuff like that, but it wasn't a lot of self-loathing being projected in the lyrics. So I definitely would agree with that. I'm very curious to know, how can people support the Clear the Airwaves project and the work you're doing to resist our Culturecide?
So this is one thing we can do in the city of New York, which of course is the largest city in the country. There is a resolution that was introduced by Sister Inez Barron, Councilwoman Inez Barron, in support of the Clear the Airwaves project, condemning radio stations Power 105 and Hot 97 and the poison that they push to the masses of the people. It's just sitting there. So get on your councilmen, councilwomen, to get this resolution heard and to vote for this resolution. When we get that resolution condemning these killer radio stations, then we can take that to the advertisers. Then we can share that with the rest of the radio stations. A similar resolution was passed in Gary. It was passed in Wilmington, North Carolina. Our comrades from Rage Against the Ratchet, out of Brother Harold, Brother Carvin out of Philadelphia, helped push that through. And so that's one of the things that we can do. We also, right now, with the FCC, we have formal complaints out there against No Heart. They call iHeart, but we call them No Heart, because they got radio stations all around the country spewing poison to the people. It's this sitting right there with the FCC. They have not acted on those on that complaint. They said the decision is made, but they haven't written it up. In the meantime, these stations have songs like "Throat Babies" as the #1 song in the country for our children. Songs entitled "Back in Blood," again, where rappers talk about, I ain't got nowhere to go. I done shot up everywhere they was. That's in the chorus of the song, #1 song in the country for African children at the beginning of the summertime, when you know we have all this fratricide going on in our community. So those are two things that we can support. Get with our congressmen and tell them to get the FCC to act on that resolution, because we were calling for the licenses to be removed from these stations in Chicago that push that poison. Get them off. Get them out of here. We had 3 mass shootings and y'all still playing songs about, I got 3 of us in a ride and we done got 10 bodies. And still playing that crap. Totally protecting the people who suffer, us who are suffering. Right now, I'm in Chicago. You know, if I was in that life, I couldn't be out here in Chicago saying where I'm at. Now, somebody would notice something and probably come get me. And this is a life that they're promoting to the masses of our people.
Now, this question for you is going to sound stupid. I and you know the answer, but this question is designed for people who may not have thought about this to give it thought. What would be the conspiracy? What would be the objective of flooding our music with negative imagery and negative messages? What is the objective? And so that people can clearly understand it before they leave the show. If they were unclear, they will be clear. Why would the white man infest our music with all this backwardness, dysfunction, and violence, and fratricide? What's his objective?
Public Enemy talked about it a while back when they said fear of the black planet. I call it false fear of the black planet. It's just, I think it's fear of us. I think it's also some hate of us. I think it's genocidal. I think it's population control. All that included, part of the prison industrial complex. This music encourages us to do stuff that's, if not kill us, put us in prison. And I mean, that's the only thing I can think. People say it's making money. They just want to make money. I said, nah. Speech from Arrested Development talked about this. He said they made plenty of money off that first album. The second album, they pretty much didn't give it no pub or no support because of the messages, uplifting messages. And that's what they don't want for some reason. It's just, it's fear. Fear ain't. I think they fear us. And fear is, we know that's an emotion that's worthless. They shouldn't fear us. We shouldn't fear them. We shouldn't fear anything.
Agreed. I want to actually reinforce what our brother Kwabena just said with a real life experience. So some of you know I've written 4 books. My first book was published by the white man, by the largest publisher in the world, Simon & Schuster. It was called Game Over: The Rise and Transformation of a Harlem Hustler. It was the memoir of a brother named A.Z. Faison in Harlem. If you saw the movie Paid in Full, you know about his story. A.Z., Rich Porter, and Alpo, they were big-time drug dealers. They were real young, whatever. They changed a lot of, they set a lot of cultural rules to the game, whatever, right? Simon & Schuster published that book eagerly. I remember being in the meetings. They were eager. The lady who was the editor was, oh, yeah, my daughter saw Paid in Full, white lady from Australia. My daughter watched Paid in Full. She loves it. Oh, she was so excited. Very much into that. Now, mind you, we gave consciousness to that story and messaging to stay away from this life and why they put us in that life. But Simon and Schuster's interest was to spread the jewelry, the chicks, the bravado, the conspicuous consumption of goods, the violence. Now, that book did really well commercially. They promoted it. I came back with Truth for Our Youth, a self-empowerment book for teens. They said, we don't want that. We don't want no parts of that. So that y'all can really wrap your minds around it, they have no interest in edifying our people. And if you see the white man edifying our people, always assume there's an ulterior motive. So Juneteenth is a holiday. Black people celebrate. Assume that he has an interest in doing that. That doesn't mean because he has an interest, we can't move forward, but always assume he's not here to help us, family. He is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said decades ago, and he was right, the devil. Not some pitchfork carrying dude with red, but meaning he's a mentality, a consciousness, an institution, a politic, a language, a culture here to destroy melanated people. So we have to understand that. Brother Kwabena, I want to ask you, how can people get in touch with you, good brother? You're on Facebook, I know, right?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Clear the Airwaves Project, and now we have a website. Sister Layla helped put it together. It's cleartheairwaysproject.org. Since we last talked, but we also have a lot of good information in this newspaper called The Metropolis. It's online, special editions dealing with our struggle with these ratchet killer radio stations. It's called The Metropolis newspaper, I should say. So look that up. Also, one of our comrades in the Clear Airways Project got this book out called Who Stole the Soul? The Weaponization of Hip Hop. His name is Bernard Creamer. Powerful book. Speaking of books, check that book out. Who Stole the Soul? The Weaponization of Hip Hop. And matter of fact, that was part of some public forums that we had, a public forum that we had, not public forum, let me change that, it wasn't a forum. Public hearings that we had last week with the National Black Leadership Alliance. And also we had people from the National Congress of Black Women, we had psychologists, we had educators, we had a sister from Educate to Empower, we had artists, Beach was on there with us from Arrested Development. So we hit them hard last week with those hearings, and that's why we still keep coming out this week. Don't go to McDonald's, you're staying out of our sponsors, staying out of their McDonald's and Subway because they sponsor a lot of these radio stations that play that killer music. So check us out again, cleartheairwaysproject.org, also on Facebook at Clear the Airways Project.
All right, family, check out my brother Kwabena Rasuli and his Clear the Airwaves Project, cleartheairwaves.com, or is that .org?
.org, and it's airwaves as in ocean waves.
That's right. WAVES, Clear the Airwaves. Also, they're on Facebook, family. Also, you can simply Google it, Clear the Airwaves Project, and you'll come up to a number of things. Don't be lazy, family, because when you're looking for them shoes and them concert tickets, you jump on Google. Jump on Google and find this brother and the beautiful work that they are doing.
Hey, brother, if I could, I still want to just mention how these places like the Grammys, like the Grammy gives awards to songs that calls us savages. And in the NAACP, that goes right behind that and gives awards for that. There's a song they had out last year called Life is Good, where No Future talks about putting you in the newspaper and putting you on a T-shirt because he's murky, because he's killed you, and then going to the funeral and shooting up the hearse, paying somebody drug money to shoot up the hearse. And we had 15 Africans shot at a funeral last year in Chicago, 10 sisters out of the 15 shot at a funeral in Chicago, and this is the stuff they play on these radio stations. And that's just a mere example. Y'all know the pornography that's played on these stations. And, you know, we already told you about the song Throat Baby. We came from the Juneteenth symposium last night talking about the music issue. She's be out in the car, turn on the Ratchet Killer radio station, and they're playing a song called Throat Babies. So, bro, this is a big issue, bro, and we need the people's help in order to make them stop. They're not going to stop on their own. We have to make them stop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree. I think you made the point earlier. I'll expand. If we had songs talking about we was gonna smoke dogs and kill them and cut their throat and sexually assault them, the ASPCA, let me tell you, but these groups would be all on your neck, all over the media, castigating you. If we made songs targeting the LGBT community, oh my God, forget about it, family. They run you out of here. If you made songs targeting Jews, forget about it, family. They run you out of here. Family, this should be so. This is common sense. There's a conspiracy, clearly. And Brother Kwabena, probably better than me, can even tell you in hip hop, there was a period where it was called the Golden Age and what the messaging was. And then there's a certain period of time, it just took a left turn. Family, it took a left turn. And that was not accidental or haphazard, it was planned. Go ahead, good brother. I know you wanted to jump in on that.
But they know exactly what they're doing. We met with them, we talked with them, we pleaded with them, we demanded, we've organized, we've done so much. But more needs to be done. I'm sorry, Train, I'm one of the elders going this past spot. But we need so much more needs to be done. And it can also change tomorrow. If some of these so-called religious groups or these church groups got into this, if these politicians made the FCC do what they're supposed to do, this can change tomorrow. So again, we need to protect our children, like Minister, not Paul, I'm about to say Paul Scott, like Coach Powell wrote the Message in the Bible, his books about that malt liquor. Like he says, our children, they cannot fend for themselves. They need us to protect them. They ask for us to protect them. We have to protect our children against these grown, audio, violent pedophiles who push this poison on them. We have to put a stop to this madness.
That is agreed, brother. As we get ready to close, because there's a lot going on. Brother Kwabena is all over the place, man. Juneteenth going on, so we're gonna respect his time. Let him get back to what he needs to do in the community, and myself as well. But I want to say this, family. If I can remember this point, and I just forgot the daggone point. Oh God, it's called CRS. Can't remember shit. It's what we get as we get a little older. But I had a very important point I wanted to get across about this. Oh yes, in the 80s, when I was a younger teen, there was Calvin Butts from Abyssinia Baptist Church in Harlem, and I forget the sister's name. She was a civil rights activist.
See Dolores Tucker?
Dolores Tucker. They had a big thing. They was taking hip hop CDs and steamrolling them and doing all this stuff. And I think that our approach today is different. Today we say, no, we're not going to treat the young artists as our enemies, right? We understand they're young. They've been miseducated. We need to politically educate them and get them on the team. We don't go at them as enemies. The enemy is he and she that set up the system, right? That funds these people, the A&R, the people that give them contracts, the people that say, no, we don't want to hear that conscious stuff. We're not going to give you no contract for that. If you want money from us, you got to talk about niggas, hoes, and bitches. They're the enemy.
Bro, you're so right. I just want to give an example because people get on us. Sometimes people tell us, why y'all attacking the youth? That's low-hanging fruit. Or but we don't let them off the hook. But we know that if what's the brother name out of Montgomery? If they kill him, they'll come up with somebody else. If Bobby Schmurder goes to prison for 5 years, they'll put somebody else in his place. So we're wasting time totally dealing with the artists. It's those who control the artists. And a good example, bad example, what they do, like the #1 song in the country was a song I mentioned earlier called Back in Blood on Memorial Day weekend. Now, the week after that, the two artists were involved in some heinous stuff. One of the artists out of Chicago, Lil Durk, his brother was shot and killed outside a strip club. The other artist, Pooh Shiesty, he was arrested for shooting somebody in another strip club in Florida. Had these issues concerning this song, concerning what they rap about in the song, about shooting and killing people. One's brother died, the other one's in jail. I think he may still be in jail. And this is what they push. So yeah, brother, man, it's like this battery's about to go out, man.
Yes, sir. All right.
Man, I appreciate you, man. And
appreciate you more, brother.
Those birds in the morning with you and giving us beautiful messages, man. I know you got.
Yeah, man. After I finish these two very important community projects, I'm gonna be back. But I gotta take a little step back and get this really intense work done, or else I won't be able to get it done. Listen, brother Kwabena, thank you, brother, for coming on, man. I'm gonna get ready to close the show up. I want to thank you. The brother's showing you the shirt. He's letting you know what it is about that black power. About that black power. Thank you, brother Kwabena, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep pushing, keep fighting for us, brother. Love you, brother. Keep doing that work, man.
Love you too, brother. You one of them ones out there, man. One love.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Brothers and sisters, you heard it live. We broadcasting live in Harlem. Brother Kwabena is live, I believe, in Gary, Indiana, although he's a Chicago native. Clear the Airwaves project, doing that important work, getting our minds right. Because George Clinton, a Parliament Funkadelic, told us, get your minds right and your ass will follow. Family, that's how it works. We want to thank you for joining. Please don't forget, we have the rescheduled broadcast of our sister Elena Porter. She's a human rights defender. I believe she formerly worked with the Afro-descendant nation. She's going to be talking to us about nationhood in a practical way, that our people can have nationhood right here in the United States, family. That will be on the 26th of June, 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on my profile page on Facebook. Family, make sure you stay in touch. Check out my profile page on Facebook. Check out Black Liberation University to stay in touch and in tune with what we're doing. I'm going to be doing a new show called Politics in the Park, where I'm in different Harlem parks, breaking down different things. And I'm going to be taking a step back so we can get some very important work done. Sometimes, family, doing an hour-long blog is not enough. We need books, we need movies, we need institutions, things that leave a legacy, things that explain things to people, things that connect activists and organizers all over the country and world. That's what I'm going to be getting into, at least for the next 4 or 5 months. I'll be very busy. I'll be in touch, but I'll be taking a step back. Thank you, family, for all your support. Stay in touch, stay in tune, stay black, stay organized, and stay resistant. Peace, black power, Wukusu, free the land. We will win. Peace.